You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, we have got Phyllis Summers up to her usual antics soon, and she may really embarrass her son, Daniel Romalotti, at his dad's wedding. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to discuss whether Christine Williams and Danny Romalotti's wedding turns insane because of Phyllis. And, you know, she may upset Daniel in the process for a very specific reason I'm going to get into. But before we dive in, please click subscribe if you're not following us yet. So we've got a big Young and the Restless wedding coming in just a few weeks. And while most fans that I've seen on Soap social media don't really give two flips about seeing Cricket get her happy ending with Danny, I'm hoping it turns into an exciting chance for Phyllis to wreak havoc and us to get some drama on our soap. So recently, Danny proposed to Christine, and when he asked his longtime off-again, on-again sweetheart to marry him, of course, she said yes. And Phyllis was not happy to hear that the bug has Danny's ring on her finger because, of course, Phyllis wants it on her own finger. And right now, Danny and Christine don't see any reason to wait to get hitched. So Y&R spoilers confirm that Danny and Christine's wedding will be in October. That's what, like 9 weeks away? It's weeks away, but coming up soon. Plenty of time for Phyllis Summers to plot a way to mess up Cricket's big day for fun or for spite or both. And of course, Danny wants his son Daniel to be there to be his best man, and he agreed without hesitation. And since Tessa Porter has been teaching Daniel to play guitar and he wrote that song, he may even play it at the wedding because his dad Danny really wants him to. And right now, Christine and her bestie Lauren are already searching for the perfect dress for the wedding. Christine is over the moon, but there is one thing overshadowing her excitement. Daniel's psycho stalker ex, Phyllis, who despises the bride. Christine already mentioned to Lauren that she's worried Phyllis is going to do something to ruin her big day. And Christine should be worried. That's valid because history tells us Phyllis won't sit idly by while Christine gets her happily ever after with Danny. Now, we all know Phyllis can be unhinged, and she still hasn't processed that trauma of being abducted with Sharon by Psycho Martin. Plus, Phyllis has always wanted to come between Christine and Danny and has done it at every opportunity. And even though their feud goes back years, Phyllis's latest attempt to seduce Danny away from Christine was pretty recent. One of the most outrageous things I can think of that she's done recently was, if you remember, Phyllis was flaunting herself half naked under a trench coat at the Jazz Lounge, blatantly trying to seduce Danny, showing him she had a trench coat on and just lingerie under it. And he was just like, no thanks, but she can't ever take a hint. So I see why Christine is worried. Phyllis is erratic and she's a loose cannon. Even on her best days, she acts without thinking, usually leaving chaos and destruction in her wake. And she absolutely despises Christine, and her hanging out with Kane is not going to make her into a better person. It'll probably just make Phyllis worse. And once she finds out that Danny is going to marry Christine really soon, I could see Phyllis starting to plot some chaos. I'm guessing she may decide to show up at the wedding, lash out, and target her longtime nemesis, Christine. But anything that Phyllis does is not just going to hurt Christine, it's going to anger Danny and obviously would embarrass her son, Daniel, who actually likes Christine. He likes Danny's fiance, and Daniel is totally happy to have Christine as his new stepmom soon. But Phyllis isn't going to sit still for that, and I think she may and pull some moves like Christine was afraid of. So just real quick, some things that Phyllis might try. You know, she could try and sabotage Christine's dress. So she has a wardrobe malfunction walking down the aisle or at the altar. Or Phyllis could swap the dress out with a really ugly one, or slop red wine on the dress moments before the wedding is going to start so that she has no time to do anything about it. Or, you know, in terms of smaller petty crimes, Phyllis could steal the bride and groom from the top of the wedding cake, destroy the wedding cake, throw it at Christine, glue her own face onto the little bride that's on top of the cake. I mean, we're talking Phyllis here. She might pull the fire alarm to send Danny, Christine, and their guests running out of the venue. I mean, heck, I wouldn't put it past Phyllis to skip the false fire alarm and cause a real one by setting something on fire at the venue to ruin Christine's wedding. So the sprinklers turn on, soak her dress, soak the cake, just ruin it all. There's all kinds of devious things Phyllis could do to mess up Danny and Christine's big day. But in the end, I don't think there's anything Phyllis can do that's going to stop Danny from saying I do and marrying Christine. That's the big love of his life. And Phyllis was just a woman that drugged and molested him and then lied and said he got her pregnant and has stalked him ever since. Danny should have had a permanent restraining order on Phyllis long before now. But the person, of course, that's going to be hurt most if Phyllis lashes out wouldn't be Christine. It would be her son, Daniel. Anything Phyllis does to derail the wedding is going to horrify Daniel. And of course, he'll be there since he is his dad, Danny's best man. So I'm also wondering if the wedding might be Daniel and Tessa's first official date, which means that it will be very important for him that this day goes well. He would have skin in the game. So this week on Y&R, Daniel and Tessa are getting much closer. We know Daniel is catching feelings for Tessa, and it looks like she may return Daniel's feelings. Tessa was just telling Daniel that he makes her feel like she could be happy again. So Tessa and Daniel are falling for each other, so this wedding may be special for Phyllis's son in his own personal way. So if she does something outrageous, it might not just ruin Christine's big day, but also Daniel's big date. So if Phyllis pulls some crazy stunt, it would affect two couples, Christine and Danny, and also Daniel and Tessa. So I could see Phyllis doing something nutty, and then Daniel's furious and has to drag his mother Phyllis out of the venue, which would ruin his chance to have a really nice date with Tessa. And this could be the last straw, the straw that breaks the camel's back for Daniel, and he might just be done with Phyllis. She has pulled so many stunts over the years, even faking her own death not that long ago. So Daniel and his sister Summer had to go through all the hell of grieving her, thinking she was dead when she was alive, and just, stirring chaotic trouble, Phyllis style. So if you remember, it took a long time for Daniel and Summer to get past that and forgive their mother. So if Daniel sees Phyllis is still up to her old tricks, being reckless and destructive, Daniel might just wash his hands of Phyllis, and she might see Danny marry Christine and then might see Daniel walk away from her. It could be a very, very bad day for Phyllis.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.